Good morning. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you. Happy Boxing Day, and hope everybody had a safe and happy and very Merry Christmas. It's good to be back here after a day off and a rare Tuesday appearance here at Gulfstream Park. Of course, our sister track out west at Santa Anita, their big day opening, so a lot of fun on both coasts.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge day at Santa Anita,
Sure
but
is.
a big day here, and they blew up that rainbow on Christmas Eve here.
Yeah, so unfortunately we are off the turf. If you're down here in the loop here in South Florida, it was quite a rainstorm
Right.
overnight. We are off the turf. Puddles in the parking lot, as Pete Aiello said, means we are off the turf, unfortunately. 10 race card for you today. That main track is fast. We'll see about that. We don't run a dirt race for about another hour, so we'll see about that. Of course, the Rainbow Six, as Samantha said, it started anew on Sunday as they paid out the mandatory Saturday, and so we will start today on that 10 race card. The Rainbow kicks off in race number 5 today, and we'll be I would assume 3 to 4 times that gross jackpot guarantee. That's way past that today. And the other thing is too, I want to remind everybody as well, because it was so successful on Saturday. We have that huge Pegasus Day preview, not official, but certainly kind of card on Saturday. We're going to have another mandatory Saturday as well.
Yep, it's exciting and a really good card. The entries are out, so dig on in.
I'll tell you what, the stakes races on Saturday, the office did a phenomenal job. The Harlan's Holiday, which could easily propel, several horses into the Pegasus World Cup. And I haven't done it yet, but it looks like the type of race. It almost looks like a turf race, one of those races where you have like a 9-2 kind of favorite.
Yeah.
It's an awesome field. Plenty of time to get to that, though. Let's get to the card today. 10 of them for you. The early pick 5 kicks off in the opener, already about $25,000 and counting in that pool. Unfortunately, again, we're off the turf today. The beauty of the Tapeta, though, is the races, especially the early ones, no scratches at all. Take a quick look at my ticket. I did not have to rework anything, just a $12 ticket. You can see the single in race number 2. That's the off-the-turf race that completely held together. No scratches at all. In race number 3, the top pick is Cozy Colby, right back off the claim for Georgina Baxter. In race number 4, that's my long shot in a race where I think we can spread a little bit in there. And my long shot is a stab, admittedly, the 6 Vallesta. First time in the barn of Anil Cordero. And then lastly, in race number 5, that one is off the turf as well. No longer my best bet because I'm certainly not as confident off the turf, but Sagamia, Graham Motion looks like he's got a very talented daughter, a Breeders' Cup Mile winner, Cara Conti. Going to add Lasix as well. Sagamia is still a single for me on just a $12 ticket. We'll try to pop that a few times, build the bankroll for not only the latter part of the card, but of course at Santa Anita, that monster stakes race, grade 1s galore out there, the Malibu, all that good stuff. Samantha and I will be firing on that. So here we go in the opener with 12-5 maiden claimers on the main track, and we'll see. We're going to see how that track plays out today. The crew, Kenny and the crew, do such a good job. Knock on wood, I shouldn't even say this, but I don't think rain is in the forecast anymore, so hopefully we can dry that out. They do a good job. Clean field here in the opener. Favorite right now, the 2 last shift, but Samantha, you're going to go next door to Romping Runner.
Yeah, it gets back on the main track, which I think
Right.
will help. And this is a big drop in class. This is as low as you can go here. Paco Lopez rode this horse for the first time last out and did quite well with him. It was just on the Tapeta, be lucky. I think had to win that day. We were a fan of that horse who won the race, and this should be a good, cozy spot here.
That is a good Tapeta race that he comes out of. Be Lucky was a maiden special weight dropper for Ruben Sierra. That was, everybody's kind of sort of best bet that day.
Yeah.
So to be a close fourth is not a bad effort at all. I just simply went with last shift twofold. The class drop, and to me, at least up to this point, he looks like a little better dirt horse than Romping Runner.
Yeah, at least to this point,
At
right?
least to this point,
but
yeah.
this horse it's a big class drop as well. And Antonio Sano, this is a trainer who puts him in right spots. We just haven't seen him in a little bit.
No, exactly, and that's a little bit of a worry. And now the drop, too, as Samantha said, this is the bottom for the maiden claimers. Vanishing Interest, Liz Doble's got this one off the claim last time. Woke up a little bit, not out of the realm of possibility, but at 0 for 14 with 8 underneath
trust,
finishes.
yeah.
We're starting to get the MO there. Race number 2, well, unfortunately, it's off the turf to kick off the early pick 4. It's a good one. It's a maiden special weight for the 2-year-old fillies, but the beauty of the Tapeta is there are no scratches but the AE, right, guys? Is that correct? I didn't have that early. Star Performance, I believe, is out. Okay, so nothing yet, but is going to have to come out if we don't get a scratch. Samantha's got the early pick 4 ticket on what is a very, very good race to start it off with.
Yeah, I think this is a good one to play and will be a fun one for sure. We'll get into it in just a second, though. Race number 3, I have 3 deep of them. 6 Miguel's Bell I do have on top. Race 4, there's a single 7 Wildcat Fire. It's a kind of an aggressive one. It's a pretty wide open race, but it's one of those if you don't just take a stance, you could be getting pretty deep in there. And in the 5th race, I do have the 7 on top. That is how did you say that?
I'm saying going with Sagamia.
Sagamia. Okay, well, I'll go with that too. Those are my 2 there.
It's $15 early pick 4 ticket. I'm glad you did what you did in race 2, because when you see my pick, all I did was single same old fears, because quite frankly, I figured she's going to run. I don't necessarily know about the others, but you've got some morning work to show, right? So you go take it away.
Yeah, let's start with How Soon Is Now and Rainy Night. They breezed together last time. How Soon Is Now, unfortunately, is drawn towards the parking lot, but now on the Tapeta, I think we're going to be okay. So on the outside is How Soon Is Now. On the inside is Rainy Night. I am a big fan of How Soon Is Now, not just because of the name, if you're a Smiths fan, but this horse is working really, really well, and I think the light bulb has kind of gone on with him. Now, I get it, this was intended for the turf, but now we're on the Tapeta. The way that this filly looks, I think she should be able to handle it, and no knock against Rainy Night, because she still held her own, but I just liked the way that How Soon Is Now, I just felt like she did it a bit easier.
Both trained by Brian Lynch, and that is a very, very good thing right now at Gulfstream Park. Brian won the feature the other day. The Jerkins will show you that, and the barn has just been firing hot.
Right.
They've been betting all the horses as well. Again, these are just turf lines, but we'll see what we get today. Same old Fierce, you got some work to show here too.
Yes.
I just felt this horse, oh boy, I like the freshening after a rough go of it at Saratoga. Thought she ran pretty well.
She really did, and it's tough to be thrown into the deep end on a good track at Saratoga. She's on the outside. She's such a typical Wesley Ward filly, just as big as a house. She never switches into her right lead in this work, and it's impressive to me. They worked from the gate here, so this is kind of tiring a little bit down the lane. She did everything very easy on the outside, but in the incorrect lead, she's just such a big gal, and that was on the 15th, so a couple weeks ago. So she shipped down here. They are taking the blinkers off.
Blinkers off. That's a late one, yeah.
Yep, so that'll be interesting. This horse can win, but I'm not running to the windows on the horse.
No, I wouldn't want to do that either at an underlaid price. You know, this horse clipped heels and then fell at Saratoga in her debut. I like what Wesley's done. Backed off, give her plenty of time to acclimate and get going again, and she's got a slew of works that say she is definitely ready. The 11 Banana Split, a firster for Joe Orsino. Listen, Paco's here. First foal out of an 0-for-1 dam. Anything Paco rides, you got to take notice.
You do, and the works on the Tapeta have been good, which
Yeah.
for today, that helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a tote board race as well. If a few of these first-time starters are live and taking money, then definitely take note and maybe act accordingly.
Yeah.
You can look at the double will pays, too, in your early pick 5 before you fire. Race number 3 is on the Tapeta today. Scratch the 7, Sweet Miss in this 2-year-old filly starter. Optional claimer will go with a field of 6, and you've got the 6, Miguel's Bell on top. A good effort behind a horse that I believe was odds on or was a shade over.
Yeah, it was, and this is a race where a lot of them are kind of coming out of the same spot, but Miguel's Bell ran well. She just couldn't get to the winner, just kind of like hung right next to her. Now she doesn't have anybody to her outside. Gabriel Maldonado, the bug rider here, lands on this horse, and he has ridden her in the past. He's won on her, broke her maiden. So I feel like this is a relatively easy, softer field, even though it's the same level. I feel like it's just kind of a softer spot.
I don't disagree with that. The only thing that bugged me a little bit, and now the Sweet Miss is out, but 4 of these horses come out of that race, and I know Anna Julia Forever was a short price. I'm not sure how good it was. I'm just popping right back with Cozy Colby. She was 1-5. She ran like she was 1-9. I think somebody just absolutely jumped in on her as they got close to the star, and she ran like it. She actually broke dead last too, and rushed way up. Take a look at a stat, because this is right off the claim for Georgina Baxter, and I love what she does here. Not only do we fire right back, this is a longer stat. I wanted to show this because, you know, the stats for Georgina don't bear out how good of a job she's done in the last 5 years. I like what she does here twofold. A, we're right back off the claim. B, what's happening here, we're not in a spot where Cozy Colby can be claimed.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you would hope that the light bulb just went
Right.
on with her. I don't know. That was such a huge race. You wonder if it comes back to her a little bit, or is she just on an upward trend? I don't know.
You know, it's possible, and she's never run on the Tapeta before either. But if you go back and watch that race, she literally broke behind the field, and in a blink of an eye, she
right
was
there
in front of the field. And now who's aboard here? Paco. We're going to send. I don't see anybody running with her early,
No.
so we'll see what we get there. But I think this is a good claim for Georgina. Race number 4. We're back on the Tapeta. 5 furlongs here and a $16,000 maiden claimer. The 2-year-old fillies go at it. It is a full. Well, I think Crown Jack's going to have to come out the 13, but that remains to be seen. John Rivera will ride the 7. We will have a full field here. And, boy, you can do a lot of different things in this spot.
Yeah.
Wildcat Fire for you, second-time starter for Carlos Davis.
Yeah, I just singled here. This is
you got to do that, one or the other, right?
Exactly, yeah. This is way too tough of a race. And she ran actually quite well on debut. She pressed a super, super quick pace and just got tired down the lane. But it's not like she gave up. She just was a tired gal. Now she's back, $16,000 claiming tag now, and gets some bug weight, which that'll help.
Yeah, John Rivera's going to ride here. John Rivera will be in the irons in here, and I don't disagree with you. I thought she did run pretty good for 35. They didn't necessarily better that day for a pretty sharp barn. She's certainly in the mix here. I thought this was a spread race. My long shot is in here. The 6, Vallesta. Iniel Cordero is going to take over here. He's done some good work. Has moved some horses up, and I wonder if, that work on December 4th. I don't know if they're going to bet this horse or not. Made her 15, but that work on December 4th is pretty standoutish.
It is, and maybe she's got some speed now. You would assume they worked her with the blinkers on, so there you go.
We'll take a shot there. Iron Shield's going to be a sizable favorite. It's Jose D'Angelo and Jose Ortiz. Take a look at a stat here on this barn, and Iron Shield is going off the claim route to sprint, or it's just route to sprint on the Tapeta here. It's not a good angle. So on the drop. So I'm a little worried about that. I know the sprint races are going to win this, and they're going to bet this horse hard. She was 5-2 last time.
Yeah.
You could run a little, couldn't you?
You would think so, too. And she didn't show anything. Now she's freshened up. Maybe that'll help. It's a big maybe, though.
5-2 in a maiden special weight field.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you can have her for 16. So I would tread a little lightly there on a horse that's a short price. Let's just talk about Alexandra Song for Wesley, certainly in the mix here as well.
Yeah, what do you do with this gal here? She's a big drop. She ran okay last time. I feel the same way. She just kind of got a little tired. Tyler's aboard here today. I don't know. I'm not big on the jockey game by any means.
Right.
But I did think I threw in Fumble Ruski. I know you make fun of me for that all the time, but Paco's here.
Yeah, Paco's here. Joe Orsino.
Yeah, and I can't. I just don't. Wesley Ward's not a guy that's gonna just take somebody off a horse most of the time. So I don't know. I just found that a little interesting.
Fumble Ruski's never run one turn on the Tapeta. Just quickly on Alexander Strong, it's Wesley, it's Paco. They didn't bet this horse last time. Really.
Not really.
Rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. Yeah. She didn't really do any running. She ran in place to be 5th last time. So there's a couple horses in here, and you can see with our picks that you are definitely allowed to fade. A couple horses that are going to take a lot of money as well. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's Rainbow 6 time in the 5th race, $50,000 on a much, much bigger pool than that today. Stay tuned.
And they're off in the Pegasus World Cup. They're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. White Aboria almost home.
And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby.
Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide
What a sport! What a horse!
to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on Boxing Day here. Big day at Santa Anita, but of course a big day here at Gulfstream Park as well. We've got a 10 race card for you. Unfortunately, we are off the turf. I want to give a couple updates. The AEs are now officially out in race 2 and 4. The 13 in race 2, the 13 in race 4, out. So just take note of that as we get going here. Rainbow 6 kicks off here in race number 5. We should have a very sizable pool, a heck of a lot bigger than $50,000. Take a quick look at my ticket now. Again, off the turf, but I really didn't have to do any changing at all. The beauty of the Tapeta is race 5 kept completely intact. The feature, the Via Borghese, just lost a couple long shots that weren't going to factor anyway. So here we go. Just a $12 ticket. I got back-to-back singles in here. Spread in race 7. The top pick is the 3 Amore, who I control. Another single in race number 8, and that is Romaja Mia for Graham Motion. He could have a good day today. And then a 3x5 late double down on the inside, almost 10 girl, Carlos Perez firing hot, the championship meet. And then there's a spread, always was a spread in race 10. I did lose my top pick, and we're going to scratch into Please Baby that I think Samantha likes a little bit as well. Yeah, Eddie Owens Jr. would like the job he does. There we go. For just $12. Back-to-back singles help me out, and we'll kick it off here in race number 5. Again, we are on the Tapeta in this one. We are off the turf. We'll keep it at the mile and a 16th. And again, the beauty of the Tapeta, no scratches at all. The 7 was my best bet of the day. I'm not quite as confident on the move to Tapeta, but if Graham Motion's going to leave her in, that's okay with me.
Yeah, it is. And you look at the races coming out of Ireland, when these horses train, if they're training on days in the yards where they've gotten a lot of rain, those training yards have a Tapeta or an all-weather surface to train across. So you look at the Fair Hills workouts as well. There you go. Let's look at the replay, though, from the Aqueduct race. They bet this horse. It was her first start in the USA. That's always kind of tough to do. She was a bit wide on this turn here. I felt like she sat quite a perfect trip, and I thought she was just going to go right on by. She's the 2 there on the outside. She never switched into her right lead. I think she got a bit just kind of worn down. What did you think?
Well, I like how you led off with that they bet her that day. I think that's very significant. I know this is not a European bred, but she's a European filly. She was never able to get covered up in that spot.
And that's a real problem.
That's a problem too. The fact Graham decided to run her in the Forever Together, named after a great horse that his mentor trained, actually, Jonathan Shepard. I think that's a confident move by Graham. Now, what do we get to do today? We get to regroup. In theory, we pick up a W, some confidence, and then we're right back into stakes races. And, oh, by the way, Lasix goes on.
They're the first time, and that's big for a 4-year-old filly.
Yeah, you like that angle quite a bit. And, you know, the other thing is now Graham, based at Fair Hill, she's been legging up over it. She's a real problem for the rest of these. Today, how about Dem Apple? Sappy's got a couple of them in here. First time in the barn, taken over from Phil D'Amato.
I like this move a lot, and the fact that he keeps her in with the Tapeta race is good too, because even then Sappy can kind of get a gauge of, all right, where are we at with her now? Those 2 wins at Kentucky Downs and Ellis Park were strong ones. She moved that was a tough race at Churchill Downs. And
Yes.
the Churchill Downs turf course, towards the end, we all know it just wasn't very trustworthy. And
You
I
said
don't,
that.
if you run a good race at Churchill Downs, I cross it out. If you run a bad one there, I cross it out on that turf course because it doesn't really stay consistent, I feel like.
You say it a lot, and I couldn't agree with you more. You just don't know what you're getting coming out of there. I don't play musical jockeys. Edgard rode the 1 Beach Nut Trophy at Kentucky Downs. Where does he land? He lands on the 6. Take it for what it's worth. Pretty much first call rider for Safi. One horse I do want to mention. You have her in there. I didn't move her up. I easily could have. Chorus Girl for Michael Matz. Another horse, has Fairhill Works on Tapeta.
Yes, she does. She is huge horse. She's just, I watched that Laurel race and I was like, oh my goodness.
Right.
She's not very fast, but she just took a good position in that race and nobody could ever catch her. It was an easy lead.
Yeah.
She has some good works on the Tapeta. To me, she's on a horse that if I wasn't looking at the form, I'd look at her and go, she'll run on the Tapeta, but we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, too. She had a Lasix that time at Laurel, and she blew way up. So, take note of her as well if you're thinking a little bit outside the box. Late pick 5 in race number 6. It kicks off with a good one. It's an optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up at a flat 1-turn mile. Take a look at Samantha's tickets. As we all know and say every day, all these horizontals here at Gulfstream Park now in the thick of the championship meet have been absolutely huge.
They have been, and they've been fun taking shots with as well. I'm not going to take a shot here in the 6th race as my partner, I believe it's not either, to kick off the late pick 5 ticket. Race number 7, though, it is a tricky one on the Tapeta. I do have my long shot. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, with Pretty Keen, the 9 I do have on top here. Race number 8. This is the Via Borghese. Do keep them the same. I changed one horse underneath, but the 6 on top for me. Race number 9, 3 deep. I do have the 9 on top. Oh, pardon me. Sorry. This was I did. Yeah, this is the horse I'm so excited about. That's my long shot. And race 10, this was the race that we got the scratches in. I do have the 5 on top, Please Baby. Always was. First time gelding. First time Tapeta here. So we'll see the son of race day for Eddie Owens, $36.
There we go there. We'll start it out in race 6, and we're going to start it out with what should be a really heavy favorite. You Ain't Poppin' is evens on the morning line. I just feel like You Ain't Poppin' is a horse that could be going places, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody else in here. I don't know if that's the case for anybody else in here.
Yeah, let's watch the race, the allowance race at Keeneland. This horse, unfortunately, has been at the mercy of the draw.
Yeah.
As of late, You Ain't Poppin', this is just the mid-stretch run. Now, he was the one horse, broke slow, was about 5 wide on that far turn, and then you're going to see him just weave through horses here. This was going 6.5. I think this distance is going to hit him right between the eyes. He galloped out really well. Now he's on the inside. This was a kind of a questionable ride, in my opinion, here. Now we've got Tyler Gaffleone, who he rides Brendan Walsh's top-tier horses. Look at this horse. He galloped out past the winner. So this horse looks... I'm not going to...
No,
if it's not him, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a horse that like I said, I think he's got a world of upside. I was not looking to beat him today. Power humor for you, but he comes in off, no pun intended, a power effort for Victor Barboza.
Yeah.
It was against Florida Breds. Victor was, what my worry is here? Victor was striking so hot at the Sunshine Meet. I'm not going to tell you I have the condition book memorized, but he didn't run this horse back.
And that's a concern. Yeah, I agree.
There was theoretically spots for this horse. The Old Boy Noble Drama's in here. He'll run on late. Flying Liam, I guess he's the one horse maybe with a little bit of an upside.
This is the scary one, I think.
Yeah. And he maybe gets loose, but I don't know. He's facing winners, and
it's tough.
Yeah, and that race isn't scaring anybody either. I think that's something to mention as well. Paco, though, freewheeling on the lead would be very, very dangerous. We'll see what we get there. Late pick 4 kicks off in race 7. We are 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Big scratch in here, probably the biggest scratch of the card.
Yeah.
The 8 Megan Making Money is out of this race. Was 3-1 in here. So a lot of value on anybody you're shopping with is out as well. You're trying to get some, though, on the outside to into touring, stepping off to Elwyn.
Well, the fact that Megan Making Money is out kind of doesn't help my pick too much here because this filly is just a dead one-run closer. She had things set up her way last time. Now, with the pace a little less quick as I presumed, I still think they'll go quick.
Oh, yeah.
She's drawn well for this outside closing kick, and I'm hoping that they'll fly early on.
The pace here, with or without Megan making money, looks absolutely hellacious.
Right.
I think my horse might get run off her feet just a little bit, and I think that's a good thing. The 3 Amaria Control, because I don't want her on the lead. I don't think she's fast enough to be playing with some of these gals early on, and that can help. Wow, Lovey Lee is a monster price, isn't she?
Yeah, I think trying the Tapeta,
Okay. John Rivera rides
for
by
the
way,
first
excuse me.
time in a long time, I
Right.
should say. She hasn't. She ran across it one time here during the summer, but before that, it had been since last year. And look at the race she came out of. Lexinator won on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, she did, and that was arguably her best race showing in her PPs. Haven't seen her in a little bit. A barn change as well. We'll see what we get, but a big price for sure. Race number 8 is the feature today, the Via Borghese. Unfortunately, it is off the turf. It reverts to 1.5 miles, so we'll stretch them out a little bit. 1.5 miles on the Tapeta. Long shot scratches of the 1 and the 5, so the gang is still all here, the main protagonists, so to speak, and Magna Mia. Like I said, Grand Motion could have a good day. You're going to show it. She's just the now horse, right?
Yeah, she made it look really easy in this race. Let's show it. Here she was. I never really felt like at any point of this race she looked like she was going to lose at Keeneland. This was going 1.5 miles. That probably even suits her a bit better now that she's going to go that distance. And this was just such a game effort by her. It looked like she's out for a gallop towards the end of it.
Yeah, this is a powerhouse performance, and I think it's twofold. If Miss Yearwood had a race, I would say, well, now we got something going on here. The fact that we haven't seen Miss Yearwood, the 2, since late May says, A, she's spotting recency, okay? B, this is probably just a means to an end for Ian Wilkes, who's not going to crank her up. We've got long-distance graded stakes, turf marathons coming up on big racing days. Miss Yearwood prepping for that. You can see her last year in the Orchid that she didn't fire in, but she's a way better horse now.
Yeah.
Those are her races. Ian's probably just starting her out today. It's just, you've got it the same. It's a one punch to me.
Yeah.
The 4 is interesting. She was on the AE list the other day. She couldn't get in. She's a maiden. She's got Group 1. She was 4th in the Group 1 Epsom Oaks. We'll see what we get. That's interesting. She's here.
I think so too, and they left her in. She has worked across the Tapeta track here and has some good works. So maybe
AML Racing too.
Yeah.
So maybe she moves up a little bit, but the top 2 in here are decided, cut above the rest. The late double kicks off in race 9. We're 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's an optional claimer for the Florida Breds. We do scratch the 6 out of here. Bodacious Bren, and take it away. Pretty keen.
Yeah, pretty keen. Finally. I've been dying to see this filly sprint, not 7 furlong sprint.
Daughter of Keen Ice.
Yes, sprint. But the dam, pretty extravagant, had a very, very horse special to my heart. Extravagant kid for Brendan Walsh, who, as soon as Brendan got him to the 5.5 sprinting after claiming, that horse took off. Group 1 winner, won the Alquaz sprint. This filly, she's not a very big gal. Extravagant Kid wasn't either. I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not a trainer, and I'm not a trainer for a reason. I would not like to be, but it's right there, and she's been doing the same thing for the last 25 starts, and it hasn't worked out. I mean, there's been one race that's connected. Why don't we try something different? Her brother was really, really good at it. Her half brother was very good at it. So let's send her in now.
I hope you get a price on her, because this is a tough group. This is a tough group to try it. She's outside as well, so hopefully you get the fair value here. I've got nothing clever other than Carlos Perez has just been going really good right now. And Omo 10 Girl down on the inside, I feel like she's loose in here. We haven't even mentioned, by the way, all the rain around here. That tightens that Tapeta up, and we've got to mention that. The Tapeta's going to be fast. It's going to be tight. Can play to speed. This is Carlos Perez. This is Clap Embroidery. They popped the other day that the morning line maker missed. And, you know, I got a feeling you're going to send it in on Omo 10 Girl today.
Yeah, they will for sure.
It's a tough race, as well. We both agree that Sonicus. Now, Sonicus going to have a problem, I think. Going to need a meltdown to make a good dent.
Yeah, she comes from way out of it. Chalk up the last race to 1. It was just a tougher group.
Oh, yeah.
Bedtime Story is one of the best for Jose D'Angelo, a 3-year-old, or yeah, she's 3 years old, filly on the Tapeta. But you see that there's sometimes these Tapeta, these races come right back around to him.
Yeah, Dave Fox has been firing hot too. It's good to see him, but he has not run this filly in a Florida-bred race yet. She gets to play with her friends today. Race 10 got dinged a little bit. That's the one race, the off-the-turfer, that got dinged a little bit. We scratched the 1, the 2, the 4, the 6, the 13, the 14, all the way out on the last page. The 15 draws in Tio Tony. Make sure you take note of that. I scratched into the 5. Let's show him, though, Please Baby, who I was always thought very dangerous off the claim for Eddie Owens Jr.
Yeah, and since the claim, they've also gelded him here. He came from way out of it in the 1 hole, and then again, note this. He was in the 1 hole, and look how far wide he was here. The widest of all, which I just... kind of makes you shake your head a little bit here, but hey, this is the end of the day, he's a $16,000 claimer. He never switched into his right lead here, but he showed interest late. I love the fact that they've gelded him since then. The works, there's nothing that jumps off the page, but Eddie Owens isn't a trainer that's just going to let him crank it. I did get to see one of them here. It was an easy, just 50-1 breeze, but he just did it easy. The thing is I think the gelding should turn him around.
And you know this as well as anyone. You're not going to win Monmouth Turf races doing that.
Not at all.
And this now on the Tapeta where you can lag and sprint late, that's a good spot for him, I think. I love the freshening what Eddie did here as well. We've got the same exact as well. You know, Immense Faith. He's 0 for 12 with 7 underneath, but Victor got some improvement out of him last time.
Yep, he did. And again, what's the pace going to be like? You'd think that this horse will be a little bit involved, and he's just keeping him in the same spot, but 0 for 12.
Yeah, he really benefits now that we're on the Tapeta today. Some of these other ones, they're fine just for luck. The 8 probably does as well, but Immense Faith is probably the one horse, especially in this race, that moves way up on the surface switch. We've got 10 of them for you here today at Gulfstream Park. We'll bleed right into our sister track, Santa Anita, as well, the big opening day there, and I think that's what we're leading with on the lightning round, as we should, because they have a monster card, their traditional opening day, Boxing Day, always on the 26th. Here's their wagering menu. They've got the dollar pick 6. We like that for sure. They've got that all-turf victory. 3 grade 1s out there today, highlighted by the Malibu.
It's a really, really good card.
Yeah.
We've been excited for this opening day, and everybody else out there as well. And Irad Ortiz is out there with a full jockey booking. So best of luck, and fire away.
Yeah, they got the La Brea out there, the grade 1, the American, the grade 1, the Mathis Mile on the turf is phenomenal. So fire on that. We'll take you all the way to a late dinner here on Tuesday. Tenacious. I think that's a pretty good way to describe F5, because he sees it out and he gutted it out all 2 miles in the Jerkins. Luis Saez dragged him home.
Yeah, what a game performance. You know what an F5 is?
No.
Nope. So it's the highest category of a tornado.
Oh.
So they
well,
go
you would know
1,
that,
2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5. F5 is
Okay.
the highest, the most destructive.
All right.
There you go. And he was very destructive in that 2-mile
He
marathon.
sure was. That was an impressive performance to do what he did. He was nagged the entire way.
He was, yeah.
On the lead as well. As I mentioned already, we've got a monster card on Saturday, and we've got a mandatory Rainbow. It was very well received the other day, and that on Saturday, and it's going to grow provided we can get there. It's going to be a big pool.
It will. Great races, great lake sequence again.
Yeah, slew of graded stakes races.
Yeah, just giving us a little taste of what's going on in the new year.
Yeah, without a doubt. Your best bet today?
It is Please Baby, I think. Oh no, you ain't popping. Yeah, that's like such low hanging fruit. I'm sorry. Yeah. It is what it is.
Mine's scratch, but it's Sagamia in race 5 is still, she's pretty much a best bet. Now, long shot for you.
Bet is pretty keen.
Oh, yeah, of course. How
Yeah.
could it not be?
Race
Okay.
9, the 9, yeah.
Doing what you've always wanted her to do.
Yeah.
I am in race 4, the 6, Vallesta.
That's a good
15.
one.
That's a good one, I hope. So we'll see what we got today. Happy to have you aboard. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Pete's upstairs with your scratches and changes. We'll be back for the opener very shortly.